Welcome to episode 3 of the Old White Man Show. I call it the Old White Man Show because I'm old, I'm white, and I'm a man. The purpose of this show is to give my opinions on certain items, and say a little bit about myself. We all got opinions. You can agree with mine or disagree. That's just the way it is. We all got opinions. There's only one or two things that we can all agree on. Today, I want to talk about some tragic deaths in my family. Recently, I lost my Aunt Jemima. They're going to stop using her packaging. I'm losing my Uncle Ben, good man, and big loss to my family. Aunt Jemima and Uncle Ben have been in a lot of American families. They were there before I was born. I grew up with them. I enjoyed their products for years and years. Still do. The corporate media, the left-wing Democrats, the crazy people out there decided that Uncle Ben was no longer important. He never was a real person, Uncle Ben. Uncle Ben was a character that was based off a real Texas rice farmer, a black Texas rice farmer who grew great rice. And these guys got together, started that business, called it Uncle Ben's, rice, and sold his rice, the rice that this black farmer raised. He was a good farmer, a credit to everybody, and everybody's loved the products over the years. Aunt Jemima was a cook working at the World's Fair, or the State Fair, or some fair, and she was cooking pancakes and, had her own recipe for syrup and stuff, and this food company picked up on it and hired her to be their representative, and she was their representative for a long, long, long time. I think since 1937, well before I was even born. I grew up with Aunt Jemima. She's a loving figure as far as I could tell. Everybody loved her. Nobody knew she was black. We all knew she was just a Aunt Jemima. Her skin pigment might have been a little bit different, but we all loved her. And now in the social media, CNN, the left, they're killing her. I say it's murder. Her family, her grandsons is suing the parent company, for what they're doing to her and how they took her recipes and they used them and made all this money, and the company, of course, they denied that she ever worked for them. I mean, I can look at her picture on their bottle, on their product bottle, and see that she must be working for them. They deny that she ever worked for them. So if I'm on that jury, I'm going to approve that $2 billion lawsuit against that company. That company, that PepsiCo company, that Pillsbury company. And then, Uncle Ben's is just a tragic loss. And then behind me, there's also a can of Goya beans, who's, they've been ran down by the CNN and the left-wing media. People said to boycott them. I mean, Goya was started by a couple from Spain who immigrated to Puerto Rico and then into Manhattan, New York. They opened up a small food store and were selling Latin products to the Hispanic communities, the Latin communities in the area. They started producing their food, using their own recipes. Today they're in 5 states, they employ over 4,000 people, and they're a prime example of Americana at its best. I mean, this is a family, a company who donates millions of pounds of food to the needy. When you don't have food to eat, sometimes you might get a can of Goya beans. They donate this. after the hurricanes, Hurricane Sandy, Hurricane Katrina, you know, they stepped up. They donated millions of pounds of food. You know, President Obama, our first black president, he came in there and honored them. Michelle Obama, she honored them. How the good they did. How they donated food to the schools to feed hungry kids. And now, all of a sudden, because they went to see the President of the United States, CNN and the social media and all these left-wing organizations wants them to boycott Goya Foods, put them out of business. You know, that's terrible. But there's lots of guys like me, old white men, who's going to start buying Goya products. I never bought it in the past, but I will in the future. And there's a lot of other people I know who's buying Goya products. I think their sales is way up since this boycott started. So sometimes you just gotta, wonder what, wonder what you're wishing for, because you might get just the opposite. And the left media is finding this out. I also got a picture up there of my nephew, Terrence. Terrence was a 42-year-old Marine, died of pancreatic cancer. He got exposed to chemicals in Somalia while serving this country and died while he was still in service of this country. He didn't know he was black, and we never told him for years and years. Finally one day we said, Terrence, you do know that your skin tone is a little bit darker than ours. But he was a beloved family member. We loved him. When he passed, we all was heartbroken. We all cried. And he could care less what color we were. We could care less what color he was. He was family. He was a good man, a good Marine, and a good gunnery sergeant. A real soldier, and I take my hat off to him. Always did and always will. The media has a tendency to say things that's not true, or to slant things in their direction, to do harm to America. They have always done harm, and it's just amazing. There's a question asked, does Black Lives Matter? And of course Black Lives Matter, and brown lives matter, and red lives matters, and yellow lives matters, and white lives matters. All lives matters. Life is life, and it should be honored. But I got to ask myself if the Democratic Party really believes that. Because if Black Lives Matters, why did the Democrats endorse slavery? If Black Lives Matters, why did Democrats become the KKK? We even had KKK members in Congress up until a few years ago when the last one died. Why does the Democrats do everything they can to promote the abortion of young black children? Why does the Democratic Party do everything it can to stop and separate black families? See, I don't think Black Lives Matters to Democrats. I think black votes matters. They would say anything there is to get your vote, but they could care less about you. That's the way I really think what's going on. It's like these school teachers, not wanting to go back to school and teach school because of this coronavirus. Now, if you look at it, if you read it here in Texas, it's the Teachers Union, the Teachers Education Agency, that's saying they don't want to go back to school. They don't want to go back in there. I don't think it's not that they don't want to go back to school. I think that they're telling people that. I think they're saying, let's not go back to school so we can blame it on President Trump, and use that against him politically this fall. That's what I think. I don't think it's the true thing. You know, not yet on there. I don't think that's true at all. And then the other thing I want to talk about is this coronavirus, this China virus. I know why the China virus came in. See, it has to do with Dosaki beer. You know, the people in Dosaki are saying, look, we're going to hire these China people to make this coronavirus, and we're going to blame it on Corona. Now, Corona beer sales is down big time. If you go to Sam's, it's perfect stack. No one's buying any of them. Dosaki's, they buying them off the shelf. You can't find Dosaki's on it. So I know what's going on, okay? They can blame it on anything they want. But it was those Dosaki's people hiring these Chinese people that brought that Corona to America. And does the coronavirus exist? Yeah, I think it does. I think that it really does. I know people who has it, and I know people who don't have it. I know a couple of people that has it, everyone else don't have it. The news media says take these tests. You know, I know my daughter thinks she had it. She took the test. They say she don't have it. My nephew took the test 9 times. They keep saying he don't have it. He thinks he has it. My cousin, he took the test 5 times. 4 times they said he had it. 1 time they said he didn't. His doctor said he didn't, but then what does the doctor know, huh? These tests is tests. There's a lot of people out there that probably has coronavirus or don't know about it. And there's lots of people who probably never had it, who thinks they might have it. I don't know. There's people dying. I gotta assume that it's there. I gotta assume that it's healthy to wear your mask whenever you're in public. So wear your mask. Social distance, especially from people who don't smell good. You know, you go to the gym, we all apart, no one gets close, but then everybody's sweaty. So, you know, especially old people sweat, that's the worst kind. You know, so social distance yourself, wear your mask, eat garlic, onions, oranges, lemons, tomatoes, any kind of citrus fruit, avocados, eggs. Eat healthy. Healthy food will help you. Wash your hands a lot. Use warm water, at least 77 degrees. That 20-second rule is a good rule to follow. You know, the parts of your body that can transmit this virus is your eyes, your nose, and your mouth. So those are the areas that you want to try to avoid as much as you can touching. It's hard to do, but try it. The coronavirus is there. Has it killed 140-something thousand people in America? I don't think so. I don't think it's did that at all. You know, there's millions of people affected, probably. You know, because you died doesn't mean you die of coronavirus, though. So a lot of these people that's got shot probably died of gunshot wounds. You know, a lot of people who, you know, had heart attacks probably died of heart attacks. They keep saying everything was complicated, you know, and added to by this virus, but sometimes it's just the opposite direction that happens. So watch yourself in this virus, and believe me, you can't believe everything you hear from the news media. You can't believe nothing you hear from the government, especially the left, you know. And it's kind of hard sometimes to realize what's going on with all the false news and false media that we get. So I want you to take care of yourself, wear your mask, and remember there's certain things in life that we can agree on. You know, one of the things that we can agree on is there is a God. whether you're a Christian, whether you Hindu or Buddha or Muslim, we all believe in God, one God. You know, and I think that most people around the world is the same. We want what's best for everybody. You know, the second thing that we can agree on is LSU. The national champions of the college football. Undefeated in 2015. Only once before did they go undefeated. And that was in 2000, no, it was 1908. They went undefeated. That year they only had 6 points scored against them, in fact. 6 points. So some people says that the 1908 team is the greatest team ever. But I'm going to stay with the 2019 team. You know, so for this week, that's all we got. Be good and see you next week. Bye-bye.